Hi, this is Dr. Daphne Bumbry, and usually on my channel I upload short stories of mine, science fiction stories. And just a little bit of background with me, I love science fiction. I love science fiction mysteries. Some things that got me into that growing up with my father, we used to always watch Star Trek, Star Wars. And my birthday's in November, and I remember every time they had a Star Trek new movie that came out, it was always in November. And my dad and I would always go. He has passed now. It's been 2 years now. But I think of him. And that's one reason why I decided to start the channel, just to talk about different things that he and I used to talk about. But Star Trek, Star Wars, Babylon 5. Oh, I loved Firefly. The movie Serenity, the last one that they kind of, tied up loose ends, I loved. But I really am a sci-fi junkie. I loved meeting all the different actors who actually starred in Star Trek. Have to admit, everyone I've ever met was very nice. One in particular who was, I was so shy. I was so nervous to meet him. He was Anson Mount. Of course, the Captain Pike. Very nice man to me, very gentle. So that makes me even like Star Trek even more when I know that the actors who play the characters are truly, genuinely nice. But anyway, this time I've decided I wanted to share another one of my passions. And that's research. I love researching different topics. And one that kind of came across my desk, just a little snippet of a story that had Prince William and Edinburgh Castle and him saying something about he didn't know there was a haunting going on there. So that's one of those things that made me go, there's a haunting? That's something that's of interest to me. So let me see. And I don't fall into that camp either or that says I don't believe or I do believe. I always, when I hear of something, I always think, well, there has to be some kind of fact or some truth in these stories, especially when different people, all walks of life, are telling similar stories about certain phenomenon or haunting. So, for those of you who don't know anything about Edinburgh Castle, neither did I until I start looking it up. I do remember, I think the address, it's located at 326A Castle Hill, Edinburgh, Scotland. That's something of a historic site. It's a tourist attraction. It's located, of course, in the heart of Edinburgh, Scotland. It's steeped in history, and it has long been associated with stories of paranormal activity. Interests me. While there are many reports of hauntings in this castle, it made me still wonder, could it be true? Or any of them could be true. And so I said, okay, let's see what type of hauntings are going on in this castle. So what I found is 3 just snippets of stories about different hauntings. And one, and I need you to brace yourself because this kind of startled me, the headless drummer. Now, this story they said it's famous, it's legendary, and it involves a ghost of a headless drummer boy. And this spirit is known to warn the people of Scotland of pending doom disaster. And they said I do believe the year was 1650, Cromwell's attack, it was mentioned that this drummer boy was heard before that attack. And ever since then, when anyone hears the drumming, they brace themselves. They're thinking, what's going to be next? So they kind of see this wandering spirit as something that is there to protect them and warn them. And then there is another haunting at this castle. The Phantom Piper. Now, there are stories of this ghostly piper who is said to play his pipes within the castle walls. Some believe this person in life died because he was trapped underground in one of the tunnels. And they say he still continues to play his tunes till this day. Now, as same as the headless drummer boy, the Phantom Piper, no one knows who this person was in life, their name, or anything else about them, which I think is kind of sad, if these stories are true. Then we have the Lady in White. The identity of this apparition is the subject of speculation because they don't know who she is, why she's wandering the castle walls. But it's said that people who are visiting, doing tours, and I do believe even when it was occupied, she was seen. You know, I guess like glimpses in the corner of your eye, you see something. And I don't think this apparition like scares anyone or tries to scare anyone, I should say, because I would be terrified if I saw a ghostly apparition kind of walking through my house. I would I would definitely move. But no one knows the purpose, if she's lost. That's what I was thinking. Or she was some type of royalty who passed, and maybe they can't see who it is, or just see the white dress. But, and forgive me, I'm not sure in Scotland with the women of nobility who are born into royalty, or their cousins, if they go by Duchess, Countess, Baroness, or just lady. But we don't know if she's either of those, a princess or a queen in her life. But that's something that's kind of spooky that also is attached with Edinburgh Castle. Now, there's one thing I like to remember and tell everyone when I'm telling these stories of these hauntings. It's just one of those historical accounts, I guess, folklore, rather than concrete evidence. And we've got to remember that. That's why, since I love to travel, I'm going to get together with my staff, and we're going to take a trip to during one of the events at this castle. And it's not going to be this year, of course. We're in November right now, but it'll be next year, 2024. And I'm going to make sure if I do see something, or if we see something, we'll have one of those great cameras and great video where we can capture it. And I'm just talking about when I've seen before in the videos and the research that I've seen of some, not all, but some who say, I've seen this, and they're showing the video and it's shaky, and maybe because they're running in fear of their life, but it's shaky, it's blurry, it's black and white, you can't really see anything. They'll say, look over there, and then you hear a noise and the camera zooms over and there's nothing. But I don't like that. So if I find nothing. If something does happen, I intend to get it on video and capture it somehow. And if you're interested in seeing that on this channel, my actual trip to Edinburgh Castle, say something down in the comments below, and I will upload it and do a more in-depth story of the castle, because I'll have pictures, and I would have went over there and was able to speak to people and people who work there and get more information for you. And if you don't want to see it, or you don't care if something happens, I'll just keep it to myself. No, I'm going to upload it either way. But that's all I have for you today. Just to give you some ideas of the next videos that I'll have, more in-depth information. These are some of the things that I have found in my research, just of hauntings throughout the world. But of course, in London, the Tower of London, the Stanley Hotel in Colorado, what was the other one? Monte Cristo Homestead in Australia, Leap Castle in Ireland. And there's some of the ones I'm going to do more research and have more video on, because I believe there's more people like me out there who's curious. So, thanks for listening and spending time with me this evening. You guys have a good day.